The nannies secreted the opulent Medeiros mansion, nestled in Sao Paulo's elite Jardins neighborhood. The air was thick with tension. The grand marble salon, adorned with crystal chandeliers and ancestral portraits, felt more like a courtroom than a home. Gloria, the 60-year-old housekeeper who had served the family for 15 years, stood before her employer, João Medeiros, her voice sharp with accusation. "She's drugging the children, Senor João. It's the only explanation. Those girls, who never slept, now rest like angels every night. That woman is doing something wrong." At the center of the storm stood Kayla Santos, a 28-year-old black nanny, her posture calm but resolute. Her dark eyes flickered with a quiet strength as she faced Gloria's venomous words. She had anticipated this moment since the day she arrived, 3 weeks ago, to care for João's 4-year-old twin daughters, Bruna and Clara. The girls had terrorized 6 nannies in as many months, their grief-fueled tantrums and sleepless nights turning the mansion into a battleground. Yet, under Kayla's care, the house had transformed into an oasis of calm. For the first time since their mother's tragic death in a car accident, the twins slept soundly, ate heartily, and even laughed again. João Medeiros, a widowed real estate magnate in his late 40s, sat in a leather armchair, his brow furrowed. His tailored suit and silver cufflinks spoke of wealth, but his tired eyes betrayed a man haunted by loss. He glanced between Gloria, whose loyalty had been his anchor for over a decade, and Kayla, the enigmatic young woman who had brought peace to his home. Gloria's accusations were grave, but Kayla's results were undeniable. "These are serious claims, Gloria," João said, his voice low but firm. "You're saying Kayla is harming my daughters?" Gloria's hands trembled as she gestured wildly, her gray hair escaping its tight bun. "Senor João, think about it. She comes from the periphery of Sao Paulo, with no references from respectable families. Suddenly, your girls, who screamed through nightmares every night, sleep like they're under a spell. It's not natural." Her words dripped with disdain, her eyes narrowing at Kayla as if her very presence in the mansion was an affront. Kayla took a slow, deliberate breath, her gaze briefly meeting João's. In his eyes, she saw not just gratitude for the tranquility she'd restored but a spark of curiosity. Who was this woman who, in just 3 weeks, had tamed his daughter's chaos? Why would someone with her poise, her fluency in 3 languages, and her uncanny knowledge of child psychology take a job that had broken so many others? João had noticed the small details, Kayla quoting neuroscience studies with academic precision, holding court with visiting dignitaries about child development, and commanding respect with a quiet authority that belied her role as a nanny. "If you're so concerned about my methods," Kayla said, her voice steady and clear, cutting through Gloria's tirade, "I suggest we install cameras in the girls' bedroom. Let everyone see exactly what happens at night." The proposal landed like a thunderclap. A guilty person wouldn't invite scrutiny. Gloria faltered, her confidence wavering for a split second. João leaned forward, studying Kayla's serene expression. There was something about her, a steel beneath the calm, a confidence that felt almost otherworldly. 3 weeks earlier, when Kayla stepped off a bus at the corner of the mansion's tree-lined street, she knew exactly what she was walking into. Raised in Sao Paulo's working-class outskirts, the daughter of a maid who scrubbed the floors of homes like this one, Kayla had seen the dynamics of privilege up close. She'd witnessed how long-serving staff like Gloria guarded their influence with a territorial ferocity, especially against outsiders who didn't fit. But Gloria didn't know that Kayla held a master's degree in child psychology from the University of Sao Paulo, USP, had worked as a pediatric trauma consultant in 3 major hospitals, and had chosen this job for reasons far beyond a paycheck. The agency had called João in desperation. His daughters, traumatized by their mother Amanda's sudden death, had driven away every nanny with their relentless crying and refusal to sleep. Gloria, ever vocal about these types caring for proper families, had scoffed at Kayla's hiring. But on her first day, Kayla changed everything. The twins, usually wary of strangers, gravitated toward her warmth. That first night, they slept for 6 hours straight, a miracle that left the household stunned. Now, in the salon, Kayla pulled out her phone. "I've recorded some of our nighttime routines to document the girls' progress," she said, her tone unshaken. "Would you like to see?" The room fell silent. Gloria's face shifted from defiance to something akin to panic. João noticed, his instincts sharpening. Kayla stood like a chess master, each move calculated, her secrets too potent to reveal too soon. Gloria, refusing to back down, doubled her attack. "Señor João, look at them out there." She pointed to the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the manicured garden, where Bruna and Clara chased each other, their laughter echoing. "Those girls were broken, and now they're playing like nothing happened. She's manipulating them, and you." Her voice rose, tinged with desperation. "She's one of those people, coming here with her false humility, waiting to ask for favors, a raise, gifts, access to your accounts." Kayla remained still, her expression serene but her eyes sharp. She had expected this. Growing up, she'd seen how employees like Gloria wielded prejudice as a weapon, undermining anyone who threatened their control. But Gloria didn't know that Kayla's presence wasn't just about the twins. It was about justice, for her brother, Marcos Diaz, a brilliant engineer fired from Joao's company 6 months ago for cultural incompatibility, a decision Gloria had quietly influenced. "What bothers me most," Gloria spat, her composure fraying, "is her calm. A normal woman would be shaking, accused of drugging children. But look at her, she knows something we don't." Joao's eyes narrowed. Gloria's observation rang true. Kayla's confidence was unsettling, like someone who held all the cards. "I do know something," Kayla said softly, her voice slicing through the tension. "I know Bruna wakes at 2:30 a.m., dreaming she's falling, just like her mother did when her car crashed. I know Clara checks every lock before bed, convinced the house isn't safe since her mother left and never returned." João froze, a chill running through him. Those details, so specific, so private, had never been shared. "How did she know? I also know," Kayla continued, her gaze locking onto Gloria, "that you've been telling the neighborhood's nannies that this family needs someone of their social standing to care for the girls. Interesting messages in the elite domestic professionals WhatsApp group, aren't they?" Gloria's face drained of color. "You even suggested I'm here to scam a lonely widower." A direct quote from last Thursday's chat. João turned to Gloria, disbelief hardening his features. "Is this true?" Gloria stammered, I never, how does she have my messages?" Kayla's eyes gleamed with controlled intensity. "Because I came prepared." The truth unfolded like a carefully orchestrated play. Kayla revealed her true purpose: she wasn't just a nanny. She was Marcos Diaz's older sister, driven to expose the systemic prejudice that had cost her brother his job and nearly destroyed his family. Marcos, a talented engineer, had designed Joao's latest luxury complex but was dismissed after Gloria's whispered doubts about his fit reached the HR department. Kayla had taken the nanny job to investigate the household dynamics that enabled such decisions. Opening a sleek leather folder, Kayla presented evidence, emails, WhatsApp messages, and recordings, all legally obtained, as she'd informed Gloria on day one that she'd document her work. The folder contained a damning paper trail. Gloria's influence wasn't limited to Marcos. Over 3 years, she had recommended the dismissal or demotion of 16 Black or Latino employees at Medeiros Industries, citing vague, cultural concerns. She'd also blocked 23 qualified candidates, engineers, architects, analysts, because they didn't match her vision of the right profile. João sank into his chair, the weight of betrayal crushing him. Gloria, his trusted confidant, had poisoned his home and business with prejudice. I was protecting the family's reputation. Gloria cried, her voice cracking. People like her don't understand our values. Values? Joao roared, his restraint snapping. Discrimination. Destroying lives because of skin color. At that moment, Bruna and Clara burst into the room, clutching colorful drawings. Papai, look. Kayla reading us stories. Clara beamed, holding up a sketch of Kayla between the twins, all smiling. And here she's teaching us about stars. Bruna added, showing a drawing of Kayla pointing to a starry sky. The girls' joy clashed with the room's tension. Kayla knelt, hugging them gently, her warmth a stark contrast to Gloria's venom. Joao watched, realizing his daughters trusted Kayla in a way they hadn't trusted anyone since their mother's death. Turning to Gloria, his voice was ice. You're fired. You have 1 hour to leave. As Gloria stumbled out, defeated, Kayla handed Joao one final document. There's more. Gloria's influence wasn't just personal. She's part of a network, a quiet coalition of elite household staff and corporate insiders who enforce exclusion across Sao Paulo's upper echelons. The revelation shook Joao. His company, his legacy, had been tainted by a system he'd never questioned. 6 months later, the Medeiros household and company were unrecognizable. Marcos Diaz, reinstated as Director of Sustainable Development, led a community housing project, his salary and equity a testament to Joao's amends. A company-wide audit had reinstated or compensated 23 employees, and new blind hiring protocols ensured fairness. Kayla, having declined a corporate role, launched a consultancy to dismantle institutional bias, her first client a hospital chain facing discrimination lawsuits. Bruna and Clara, now 5, thrived in a diverse school, their nightmares replaced by dreams of stars, thanks to Tia Kayla. Joao, humbled, learned that privilege could perpetuate injustice or spark change. Gloria, ostracized by the elite she once served, worked a low-paying hotel job, her influence reduced to nothing. Kayla's legacy, though, was just beginning. A call from a mother in Salvador, seeking help for her son's school discrimination, reminded her why she'd started. Let's begin, Kayla said, opening a new notebook. Justice wasn't about destruction, it was about building bridges where walls once stood.